Hey guys, I know that some of you are going to feel like I'm avoiding you, and maybe I am, some of you. But basically, I wanted to record this to help you review for the test that you're about to take. Ms. Monk, I'm sorry that you're going to have to hear this 3 times. If at any point you want to just mute it and have at it, go for it. Side note, this is not my office. This is my husband's office. I would never put the stuff that he has up in here. Okay, so here, this is how this is gonna work. Miss Monk is gonna go through the slides, and when I say pause, pause, so that you can attempt to answer the question, and then we'll pick up and pretend like I'm there, and it'll be like I'm there. It'll be great. Um, I bet I am. I bet I know what you're doing right now. Minul, get out of your game. Arjun, stop laughing. Blen, put away your phone. Fifth period. Joseph, I know what you're doing. Stop it. Same with you, Ilias. Seventh period. And all of you sit down in seventh period. Valentina, I'll answer your questions tomorrow. And yes, this is a grade. All right, so question number 1. Oh, where are you going? Okay, so the first question is, what are the 3 foreign policies the U.S. has had over the last 3 years? Pause it. Okay, the answer. First, isolationism, don't interact with anyone. Expansionism, we want to take all of their land or anybody's land or they can give it to us. It doesn't really matter. We just want to be bigger. And then you have imperialism. And imperialism is all about kind of making an empire. It's so cold. Making an empire and kind of manipulating and controlling everybody around you so that way you can be the best, the baddest. It's often referred to as kind of being the bully. Question 2, where did we fight the Spanish-American War? Pause. All right, the answer, Cuba and the Philippines. If you remember, Philippines lasted 7 hours. We defeated the Spanish army. The conflict in Cuba was the war, basically. That was the whole thing. Question 3, what are the 4 reasons we choose to start/fight in the Spanish-American War? Pause. Start. First, we felt bad for the Cuban rebels. We felt like the Spanish were being horrible to them, but also we knew what it was like to be a colony revolting. 2, we wanted to protect that sugarcane, got to make that candy. 3, yellow journalism. And lastly, the USS Maine. It wasn't Spain, but we thought it was Spain, and you know how it is. Who was president during the war? Pause. Unpause. William McKinley. I know everybody wants to say Teddy Roosevelt, but it's not. Teddy was the Assistant Secretary of the Navy, and then he quit his job and founded the Rough Riders, which is like a group of retirees who went and fought in Cuba, but they actually did really, really well. And that is what made Teddy Roosevelt crazy popular, and it's why when McKinley ran for re-election, he asked Teddy Roosevelt to be his VP, and then shortly after died, and then Teddy Roosevelt became president. As a result of the war, the U.S. became a, pause, world power. Basically, we don't matter until, excuse me, until after that 6-week-long war because we defeated Spain, who is traditionally a really, really powerful empire. What happened to Cuba after the war? Pause. It became an independent country. We did not own Cuba. We did not buy Cuba. It became an independent country that we then formed a protectorate relationship with, meaning that we will take care of them. Next question. As a result of the war, the U.S. gained 3 territories. They were, pause, Philippines, Guam, Puerto Rico. Again, not Cuba. Next one, that didn't mean to be there. There we go. Okay, so this isn't a question because if you're anything like my B-Day classes, the activity that we did in class, you don't understand the Monroe Doctrine and the Roosevelt Corollary, so I'm just going to go through it. So first off, Monroe Doctrine. President Monroe is the 5th president of the United States, so we're still a teeny tiny little country. And he says basically to Europe, you are not allowed in the entire Western Hemisphere, so picture North and South America, but that's it. There's no threat, there's no consequence, there's no nothing. So it's basically a pointless statement to make. 100 years goes by, and then Teddy Roosevelt is president. And Teddy Roosevelt looks at the Monroe Doctrine, and decides that as a policy, he thinks it's great. But he recognizes the problem that we all recognize in that there is no effect. So what he does is he takes the Monroe Doctrine and keeps it, but he adds a tiny little PS note on the bottom. And that PS note said, if you come over to the Western Hemisphere, then we will fight you. And specifically he said, we will use our military to intervene when necessary. So basically, we will fight you. He called this, jokingly, he called this policy his big stick diplomacy. It comes from an African proverb where it says, one can speak softly and carry a big stick and get a lot done, implying that you don't have to scream and shout for people to do whatever you want. You just have to have a really scary weapon, and then people will do whatever you want. And so in this cartoon, what you're seeing, yes, that's Teddy Roosevelt, he's enforcing the Monroe Doctrine right here through that Roosevelt corollary, hence the scary weapon. All right, Panama Canal. Why did the U.S. want this so bad? This is a question. Pause. To connect the Atlantic and Pacific Ocean, I'm sure all of you got that, makes trade a lot easier. It's why we helped the Panamanians revolt against Colombia, because it meant a lot to us. Alaska. The U.S. buying this from Russia is an example of what foreign policy? Pause. It's expansionism. You could also argue imperialism, but really in definition, because we didn't like bully our way into it or like take it from somebody. We just bought it. It's expansionism. Oh man, is that a typo? Okay. I think that's it. That's it. Okay, so what I want you to do right now, you have 5 minutes. I want you to study. You can go through the study guide, you can go through your notes, you can quiz with a friend, but you have 5 minutes, and then Miss Monk is going to talk with you about the test and the format and everything. If you are 5th period, you have more than 5 minutes. What I actually want you to do is I want you to study all the way until lunch. And then when you come back from lunch, you have that whole hour block afterwards to work on the test. So if you are 5th period, I want you to work on the study guide. It's not going to be due. I'm not going to collect it, but I think it's a really good way to focus your effort. Otherwise, 1st and 7th, you should work on the study guide, but that's up to Miss Monk. Okay. Be good. Do good things. Cross your fingers that Lily gets better, and I hopefully will see you guys tomorrow or never, because I'm clearly avoiding you.